Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the 9th of May, day 39, and it's about 6:40 in the morning or so. We didn't get the frost last night. I don't think it got quite as cold as the night before, so that was kind of a nice little blessing. Let's see. I just went to the privy, and this is one of the nicest privies. Okay, it's been nice and clean, well taken care of. Um, there's a little plaque on it that says it costs about $1,600 in materials and $500 in man hours to build that latrine. So thank you to the Allentown Hiking Club for doing that. And yeah, so should be a nice day for hiking. I've got 10 miles planned. If it's anything like it was today, and I hear it is, or it was yesterday, then today is going to be a kind of just a long, grinding, brutal hike across the beautiful Pennsylvania rocks. Trying to make sure that I don't fall. Well, I did yesterday twice, but let's not fall and get hurt. Why don't we put it that way? The odds of falling are probably great, but let's try not get hurt as we do this. All right. Spent the night with 3 Nobos and a father that's out hiking with his sons for a little bit while they come through here. So the Nobos are passing me pretty fast now. So get to meet a lot of new people. That's the good thing. All right, I go try and get my stuff packed up as quiet as I can because the 2 boys and their father are kind of sleeping in since they're not doing high miles. So all right, see you later down the trail.
Hey everybody. Well, the first 2 miles out of the shelter area there, Allentown Hiking Club shelter, the first 2 miles to Franklin Road was almost like a Forest Service road. A few rocks here and there. I chose to go down, like I mentioned last night. I think I mentioned last night to go down the trail and then cut back to the spring to get some water. And it was a well-marked path. Definitely the best way to go if you've got enough water to last the night. So that 2 miles was nice. Then this section going to 309. The first part, as I started up and left the Forest Service road, there was a lot of shark's teeth. Yeah, leave it to a Florida boy to call them shark teeth, right? Anyway, the description works for me. And then I've got this nice little section of trail here, and it's just a beautiful spring day. I'm down to my base layer now, and it's cool and crisp. And heard a bunch of woodpeckers this morning and some birds. It's kind of quiet right now, but I want to mention and do a big thank you to all my subscribers. You know, I set this up last year just as a way to share videos with friends and family, and I didn't do a very good job of looking at comments. My wife would every now and then say, hey, you know, somebody asked you about this, and it wasn't until after I got home that I discovered, oh, if I go to the video manager page, I can consolidate all the comments and just read through them. So this year I am reading everybody's comment. When I can, I try and thank people, or I try and answer your questions. But just, you know, be aware that if I don't get to everybody, it's not because I didn't want to answer you back or thank you. You know, I have to watch battery power and things like that, and sometimes it's just so tired. It's like I'm laying down as I'm falling asleep. I'm doing one last quick check and run through, and so I am able to read everybody's comments, and I appreciate it. There's other people out there, you know, Early Riser 71, Roaming Gnome, that I would like to get to their videos, but I gotta tell you, I'm just tired at the end of the day, and also need to conserve power. So a big shout out to all of you. I'm really appreciative of your positive comments and your encouragement. I'm not plagued by trolls. Yeah, a couple of people have kind of called me out, and I probably deserved it on some things, but you know, maybe beating up the trail maintainers a little bit a couple of days ago was probably a little harsh, but my frustration level had overflowed. It's maximum allowable pressure limit, I guess. So anyway, but you know, I don't have really any trolls, and everybody seems to be very encouraging, and you know, my hiking style is forced to be different because of my previous heart attack and the beta blockers that I'm on, and so I've just got to take my time and be careful. And so for those out there who are, you know, ill and affirmed, then infirmed, then you know, hey, this style might be right, and maybe the trail will allow you to either do it in 1 year or 2 years, depending upon the experience that it wants you to have. We often talk about the trail as almost a living entity. You know, the trail teaches, the trail provides, and when you come out here and you walk it, there's kind of a lot of truth to that. It kind of does become this living entity, not living in a real spiritual sense, but it has a, you know, it kind of has a purpose, and there's enough people that are connected to it, hikers, and whether they're day hikers or section hikers or through hikers, and just people that live around the trail, that it draws them in, and that's what provides things. So when I say it's kind of like a living thing, I don't mean like it's got a spirit in it or anything. It's just a, you know, it has a, there's something special about it, especially how it draws people together, draws towns together, connects states together. Just, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. But once again, just want to thank everybody, and don't be disheartened if you make a great comment and I've just missed it. I don't mean to. I'm trying to do better about catching people's comments, at least reading them all this time. And anyway, you know, oh hey, look what I found. I love these little gals. Oh man, it's always such a treat to find those. Oh, pink lady slippers. Pointed him out to a hiker not too long ago who was from Pennsylvania, and he said, "Oh, we get those all over the place." I'm like, "Yeah, well, they're still rare, even if you have them all over here." All right, starting to get a little bit rocky. Not too bad, but hey, three of my 10 miles today have not been brutal, so hopefully that we can make some good time today. I've got a bake oven knob to climb over, which is, it looks like a spike. It looks like a shark's tooth on the profile map. Literally, it goes straight up to a point and then straight back down again. So we'll see how that goes today, and what the trail looks like going up and down. I have a sneaking suspicion it's rocks. And then I've got Lehigh coming up, which is supposed to be a big rock scramble where they've had to put rebar in and everything else. All right, everybody. You have a great day, and hope you enjoyed walking with a little bit of springtime here. And I'll tell you what, Pennsylvania is so pretty. I love this state. I even love the pretty rocks. I love Pennsylvania. What a pretty place. Well, from the Allentown Club hiking shelter to here at 6.1, I've been dealing with these rocks now for 5 minutes or so, and so it looks like the good times are over. Had 6 miles of really nice trail for Pennsylvania, really nice trail. And now, I'm not sure how much of this I've got, but let me just assume that all the way up to the next shelter, another 4 miles. We'll see if I'm wrong. Okay, the boulders have been going on the better part of an hour with just a few little, I don't know, 100 yards here, 100 yards there of just smaller rocks and not boulders. So now I've climbed up here. There's a double blaze on this tree right here. And I'm going, where do they want us to go? And then I see it. You see the blaze on the rock, the next rock, the next rock, and that little pointed rock up there. So I'm going to start walking along this thing here. Oh joy. Nice to get a little bit of a view here when I'm up on this nice edge. Matter of fact, I think that's what it's called, nice edge. So this is the nice edge. Remember Big Bird's rule, our lesson learned about walking on rocks at a 45-degree angle. Doesn't matter if they're wet or dry, they're still going to be slippery. So I try and avoid it, but I guess this isn't going to work this time. Oh boy. Dang. This is fun. Ooh, there's a lot of rocks. Now I know why there's only 10 miles between shelters. So this is a look of your Sobo. That big tree there, you see the couple blazes there? Right between the evergreen. Wow. You know, that was fun. Because it's different. Dangerous. Adrenaline rush. I'd hate to be up there in the middle of a rainstorm, because almost all those rocks are more than 45 degrees. And you know my rule, or my lesson learned. Maybe I ought to call that Walker's rule number 1 or something. If it's 45 degrees, it's going to be slippery. It seems like I've fallen on them a lot. All right, let's go. There's a little campsite right there. I think I'm going to go have lunch. Take a break. You know, I used to hate stuff like this, and I just caught myself going, oh, thank you. Those boulders were, obviously they were ending because they've ended, but it seemed like they were unending. And they may not necessarily be over yet. I still have baked oven knob to climb yet and descend, so it's probably going to be true to form. It's all rocks up and down, but I might be surprised because apparently it's a very popular place to go for the vista. So maybe the trail has some angels that have helped it out a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of funny when you think this stuff is actually good. You know, I went ahead and stowed my poles after my lunch break and did the rest of the boulder scrambling with them actually on my backpack. And I think that went actually better than just holding them, you know, in my hand, either like 2 of them in one hand. Because before I was like, okay, I can still throw my hands around for balance, but I noticed you're still thinking about the poles being there. And I think I actually felt a little bit better in balance not having it in my hands. So a little lesson learned for me on those big boulder scrambles. Just go ahead and stow them out of the way. That's one of the advantages of the Osprey. You can do that without taking your pack off. The ULA, you got to take your pack off. I tried to use a little water carrier on my right side. That didn't work. The poles kept banging into my legs as I would try and raise them up to climb over rocks, so that didn't last long. All right, hiking on. It's been a while since I've seen one of these. This might be one of those Indian blazes that they tied the tree down. But for right now, it's going to be a chair for me to take a break. Well, I had about a half a mile of reprieve coming down to the parking lot. Now climbing up to Oven Baked Bald, I think it's called, or Baked Oven Bald, or something like that. I had a feeling it was going to be like this. Oh man, fun stuff. They're beautiful though, aren't they beautiful? Look at them, they're just beautiful. That's a beautiful view. I love Pennsylvania, it is so pretty. There's my trail, right down through there. Hee-haw, nothing like doing some good old rock scrambling with no harness and nobody on belay to get the old adrenaline going. You know, this is fun. Beats the trail of shark's teeth for now. Although it'll look pretty good here in a minute, because this is tiring. Hey everybody, I arrived here at I arrived here about 4. It's about 4:20 now at the baked oven. What does it say? Bake oven. There's no D. Bake oven knob shelter. It's an older one. The floor is actually, it's like it's been tried to be repaired a couple of times. It's actually kind of slopes down into the shelter, so pretty slick floor. So I have a feeling that anybody sleeping in there is going to be either having to keep their knees locked all night, or they're going to end up sliding down into the base of the shelter. So I'm going to camp. There's a fire ring. Sorry about the sun right over there, but there's a Widowmaker. Pretty substantial one there. I've got to figure out and mitigate my risks here with that thing and see where I'm going to put my tent. So of course it's set up to fall on the best spot over there, so I'll have to choose something else. A little bit earlier than perhaps I would have liked to have stopped. I made really good time today at the beginning. The first 5 hours I did in 3, and the first 5 miles I did in 3 hours. And that was with going to get water, 0.3 each way. So in a way that was 5.6 in 3 hours. So I felt pretty good about that. But then everything else started happening with the knife edge and the extra rocks and everything else, and I slowed down. And the second 5 miles, it took me 5 hours, so about a mile an hour. I'm pretty reliable about doing a mile an hour. I can kind of keep trudging through and getting a mile an hour. So the next shelter is a 6.7. That would be a 16.7 mile day for me, and I don't think that's going to happen. My right knee is complaining quite a bit, not hurting, just is letting me know that it's frustrated with me with the all the rock scrambling we did today, and some pretty big steps down. The good news in all of this is there's the water source here, the seasonal one. It's got a good flow to it, and it's just right near the shelter here. It's not even 75 feet down a little trail, so it's perfect. Otherwise it would be a 0.4 down to get water, and I've done that before and I didn't like that. So, and I was out. I'm dehydrated. I had to ration my water today. I could have gotten water at that Blue Mountain restaurant, even though they were closed today for lunch. There's still a spigot I could have got water from, and I should have gone over it. I should have drank a good liter and filled up and brought that with me, because I pretty much rationed my water, and I was pretty thirsty, and I'm going to probably drink a couple of liters here before I even think about fixing dinner tonight. So, all right, now tomorrow I've got the quandary is I've only got a 6.7 in the next shelter, and I set that up because I didn't know what the terrain was going to be like. But then it's only like a mile and a half into Palmerton. Now, if it's really bad and really no kidding, all I can do is get to the next shelter tomorrow. Then that's okay. I'll go on the next day into Palmerton, resupply. There's a hostel there. May do a slack pack up over the Lehigh Rocks. If it's a good day tomorrow and it's not that bad and I can get in there early, I'll see if they'll bump my reservation up a day and get the resupply. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to climb up over Lehigh Rocks with a full resupply. So if nothing, then I may take a chance and see what's at Danielson, something like that. On the other side of Lehigh Rocks, there's nothing in the AWOL guide. It says there's a town and there's a B&B there.
but I don't know if there's any place to actually resupply there. So some things to consider. Anyway, it's all part of this process that I'm sharing with you. So, all right, just let you know it's not scary out here. You just you figure it out. People help you, and you get information. And sometimes people tell you what the trail's like, and that's not what it's like at all. So you just never know until you get out here and experience it. All right, everybody. I think I got sunburned today. It looks like I did. So I'm gonna cut this off and get in the shade. See you later. Bye.